Coming up on the new music, Hüsker Dü bring their live show, their security, and their opinions to Toronto's RPM Club.
Hüsker Dü from Minneapolis have been called thinking man's hardcore, hardcore hippies, and metalcore. What they do is combine garage psychedelia with a lot of thrash. And if all those words mean absolutely nothing to you, they're a brave new kind of rock and roll. Is pop music really as disposable as radio programmers would have us think?
I don't think anybody who writes music should be classified as disposable, no matter how popular or how crass it may seem, because I'm sure they're writing it from a very serious perspective for the most part. I just think they're interchangeable. I think all of us are to one degree or another. We all have a parallel reality going on somewhere around us, you know, where somebody could be flip-flopped for us probably and we wouldn't even know. Or, you know, Madonna could be flip-flopped for Lydia Lunch, you know, I don't know. Rock and roll's birth and ongoing life sort of parallels consumerism, and especially America, I guess, to a degree, Canada and the rest of the world, in the, you know, post-World War II. So I guess everybody's assuming that everything that's been made after World War II is disposable, because after all, that's how we live our lives. We use something and throw it away. So I guess since pop music is a very immediate thing, it's also classified as disposable. I don't really think that's fair. It's not like a pair of sneakers. You know, a good pair of sneakers may eventually wear out, but a good song never wears out.
You've been described as the thinking man's hardcore. Well, that implies that most hardcore audiences aren't thinking.
There's musicians and people and writers and whatnot that deal with things on different levels, and there's people who appreciate things on different levels. I think for somebody to say we're a thinking man's hardcore band, I'd say yes, I think our lyrics have quite a bit of thought in them, and they do provoke a lot of thought, but, you know, don't get us wrong that we don't know how to have a good time, make people swing their hips around the room too. You know, it's like, I think it's the delicate balance of both.
There seemed to be a lot of security up at the front of the stage tonight, like you wanted to stop people from stage diving. Is that something you're trying to discourage?
Sometimes people just get a little carried away with the whole thing and have to not so much show restraint, but show respect for the other people up front that maybe don't want to get kicked in the head. You know, I don't think it's, I don't know how much of an issue of, you know, physical security people it is. I think just people, you know, have a little respect for each other.
If it gets too nuts, I prefer to stop than to, like, be overrun by fools. They have no need to be on stage unless they have the courage to start their own band and
And find the rehearsal space.
Intellectual reinforcement to be able to come up with some material.
Well, I don't know why you want to tell me when I'm right or when I'm wrong. It's the same thing in your mind. The only time I'm right is when I play along. When I play along. Walking around with your head in the clouds, it makes no sense at all. So you're so short, but you're walking so slow, it makes no sense at all.
As a band, people say that you break a lot of rules. Well, in rock and roll, what's the hardest rule to break?
Well, let's define what the rules are.
Well, a lot of people, well, first of all, marketing rules. You have all kinds of image rules.
Those are only the rules for the top 10, though.
Well, then what are the rules for
Rock
independent?
and roll is a
Many
non
rules.
sequitur for and so it's like, from that point,
But
it's like,
it's not
what are the
anymore.
rules about
It's not anymore, though. Do you think that rock and roll is still?
Yeah.
You still think that that's the best thing that rock and roll? That's the thing that rock and roll is selling now. Still is sex.
Well, it's like, maybe it's like
Bad sex.
Safe sex.
safe sex. Yes. Always, you know, always use a capo. Since this isn't going to end up in your production anyway, we can move on.
You think so? Okay. But
Is
that
it?
idea, well, I mean, lots of things do make it.
The new music will be right back with Altamota.